The attack on Paul Pelosi has been one of the most requested events on my Twitter account to analyze, especially after releasing that video where, well, something very strange seems to be happening. So I decided to take a look and share my impressions about this. Welcome back, my Body Language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language guy, and it would be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. Here's the background of what had happened. On October 28, 2022, an assailant attacked Paul Pelosi, the husband of U.S. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, with a hammer during a home invasion at the couple's residence in Pacific Heights, San Francisco. Pelosi was seriously injured and underwent surgery for a fractured skull. David DePape, a 42-year-old Canadian citizen, was arrested at the scene. He reportedly planned to take Speaker Pelosi hostage and interrogate her. Now, you can imagine that such an attack as caught on video is not gonna be easy to watch. So this is a trigger warning that the subject matter of this video could hurt some sensibilities. Either way, I'm going to try to keep it as vanilla as possible. This is a police body cam video. We can see the movement, and when the camera finally points in the door's direction, we can see the two men are standing right there and holding a hammer, one with both of them with their right hands. But that is not of it, because once the police begin talking to them, they have a reaction, and then we have the attack. We are not going to see any more than this because it's not necessary. What we are going to analyze is what happens before the attack. We already know that, well, there was a hammer going down, and, well, the outcome is too gruesome to show. But what we are interested in is this first part. Now, why are we seeing this body cam footage so many months after the event? A U.S. court has authorized the release of footage showing the hammer attack on the husband of former House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Body camera footage shows the moment police arrive at Paul Pelosi's door and confront the attacker last October. They direct him to drop the hammer before the attack occurs. Interesting to see that the interrogation that DePape allegedly was planning was court documents filed last year allege Mr. DePape had planned to hold Mrs. Pelosi, a Californian congresswoman who was not home at the time of the attack, hostage and break her kneecaps if she lied to him. So let's go back to the video and try to answer the questions that have arisen, especially the first one, the one that everybody is asking. Who opened the door? Why is this question relevant? Because they are standing nowhere at a distance that it would have been easy to open the door. The Pape is standing straight. He is not leaning to the door or anything. We can guess that maybe someone opened the door and then let it just open on its own movement, on its own weight. And you might think that it was Pelosi that opened it, but it so happens that Pelosi had a drink on his hand. There is a drink, there's his fingers, and there's a glass. We cannot say if that was actually a drink. I think, in my opinion, I think the glass was empty. But that's what we got at this moment. So it would have been quite hard for him with that hand to open the door. Not impossible, but let's have that clue right there. But at the same time, some have claimed that there was a third person in the room or in the area that they were standing, when you can see through this tiny window beside the door seems to be a shadow of someone. There is no shadow right now, and then you move it, something appears on the screen. There's also a small frame image behind them. You can see when they enter the scene, you can see that there's a small, I don't know if that's painting or a photograph, but by the angle, the camera is not moving that much at this point. Notice that what happens at this moment? The officer who is filming with his body cam the scene, it's not moving forward that much so as to have an actual change of angle so you see the painting. So it really looks like there was someone right here, could be the one who opened the door for them. But there's another question, and that's something that I noticed. At no point after the door was opened. The door was open and we can barely see them, and then we can see their faces. There they are. And once we can see their faces, I noticed that at no point they have any glance or any, they don't look to the right. Like if there was someone opening the door in some way, then most probably they would have looked in that direction, like only a quick glance. Okay, maybe the person was in whatever they were doing. I can't jump to conclusions that early because I'm trying to make sense of what I'm watching. But it's a natural reaction. Someone is to your right, they are opening the door. Okay, you are greeting the police officers in some way, and it would be really hard for them to not see, okay, this whoever opened the door, if there was a third person who opened the door, they will be sharing quick glances, or at least one quick glance, like, okay, you have to hide, or this person is right there, or there will be any kind of signal on, at least on Paul Pelosi's body language, to signal that there was someone behind the door, but there's none. They never look on that direction, to the right. At the same time, to the third person theory, there's a flaw. There's a big flaw in this, because we see that the door opens, right? But the door opens and we don't see any shadow behind the door. We see the shadow after the door has opened and is swinging on its own. If the person had opened the door and has backed quickly, then why do they appear behind that glass after the door was open? That doesn't make any sense. You would have seen, if the door was opening right here, then you would have seen the shadow at that moment. You will see a shadow here. If they are backing up, why would they appear on that window and risk being seen by the police officers? So, okay, it looks on the angle, but I'm going to go with the fact that it's just a painting or a photograph that we're seeing behind. And so only the two men were at that moment in the house and at the scene. Again, I have to remind you that these are just my observations and yours are totally valid too, so you can share them in the comments. Okay, the other fact is the way that they are standing. They are both facing the police like they were expecting the police to arrive. They are trying to, Pelosi is holding the hammer, like knowing if he lets go of the hammer, something's gonna happen. And no matter what happens, he doesn't let go of the glass. I still think that it was, I don't know about you, but I think it was empty. But he was trying to hold on to that hammer because he knew that he let go of the hammer, this is what's going to happen. Now, this is my question. Some have claimed, Pelosi was trying to distract him until police arrived, okay? He was trying to distract his attacker, okay, until police arrived. Now, if the Pape was the attacker who broke into his house and was about to attack him, why didn't he escape when he heard the police? Like he entered through a window or the back door. I don't know, but why didn't he escape? Why was he just standing there, and at the same time, he in front of the cops, he goes in for the attack? That doesn't make sense. He knows what kind of behavior, what kind of impulse could you have that you are risking, getting arrested, getting charged with attempted murder or maybe with murder because he swung that hammer with full force. He knew what he was doing. I don't know, either in this kind of situations, when you see this intensity in this kind of attacks, is either drug fueled or is a crime of passion. I'm sure there must be other instances that this applies, but these two scenarios are the only that off the top of my head can explain such behavior, not going away, and at the same time just swinging the hammer in front of the police. I would also want to know, even more strange is that when the door opens, at some point, not always, not all the time, but at some point, you see that Pelosi smiles. He is smiling right there. This is a smile. Both of them are smiling. I could understand that if this man, the Pape, was on something, well, it would be natural. I don't know. There he is, has this grin. To be fair, at that moment, Pelosi is more like shocked. I don't know why should be shocked that the police arrived, or that the police is right there, because well, they can do something about what is about to happen. Not to mention the Pape's posture when the door is opened. He is acting like acting natural, I guess. Hey, I'm just here holding a hammer and with my left arm and hand on my hip, like, well, this is just another Sunday, I don't know. And that's when he tries to force the hammer out of Pelosi's hand, and he does this twisting, and that's when he swings it to Pelosi. Now, I don't find it odd that Pelosi was in underwear, because you might be hanging around at home in underwear and someone breaks into your home, and that's you maybe you don't have time to put on pants because you have to face whatever is happening. But I have to say that the first time I saw this video and saw this clip, I knew about the case. I knew about the general circumstances about the case. But my first impression is that these two men knew each other. That was my first impression. I know that many of you are going to say, no, that can't be, or that's not like that, or it's not as simple as that. But that was the first hunch, the first impression. We have only, let's say we have the three options. They do not know each other. They vaguely know each other, maybe are acquaintances, or maybe they actually know each other pretty well. Let's see, there are three scenarios. If they are strangers to one another, I think this will be the, I don't know, I think in every situation this could be really odd. In every scenario this would be really odd. By the way, the Pope was holding something with his left hand that I can't quite see what it is. There it is. He was holding something on his left hand, and it's really hard to tell, even with the sudden light of the police officers. It's really hard to make out what was he holding on his hand. It looks like a plastic bag or something. This is the head of the hammer. This is Pelosi's hand. This is the Pope's left hand, and he's holding like something like a plastic bag, a small plastic bag. This is what I can make of it. Like he was holding a plastic bag. I guess all this has something to do with the fact that police have previously said Mr. the Pope told them he was on a suicide mission when he smashed in the glass back door of the Pelosi home in the upmarket Pacific Heights neighborhood. So I think that will be the strongest way to support the theory that these men did not know each other, because how spontaneous and, well, not planned is. If they knew each other, why did he smash the glass back door? Why didn't he just, hey, Paul, how are you doing? Let's hang out. Let's talk. I don't know. It's even my first impression is that they knew each other. I don't know. That doesn't fit what I'm looking at, the way he broke into the house and the attitude. Yes. Also, we have to account for the fact that in those situations, we don't know how we are going to react. We don't know how are we going to be in a state of shock or terrified or something. So I certainly hope we don't find out about ourselves in such a situation. But I can also understand why people say this video is so odd, because, well, the circumstances are not the clearest one as what were the motivations, what was the main driver of the Pope's behavior. There's always something that sparks this kind of outburst. And I have a hunch that this is not going to be the last time we hear about this case. My body language buddies, remember to download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and remember, much love and bliss.